let's get launched. We got Alex Egglinger on the podcast, Intent Rehab, phenomenal private practice PT, right? Private practice, cash practice.
Yes, sir.
Working out of a gym currently in East Northport. And yeah, give us a little intro about what you do, and we'll get back to the conversation we were just in.
Yeah, I mean, now that we're on the clock, here we go. So I started my practice about 3 years ago, just earlier this May.
Congrats.
We're providing one-on-one physical therapy. We're trying to bridge the gap between rehab and performance. I know there's that gray area with the in-between when you kind of finish up rehab and it's a little too easy, and then you're like, okay, but now I want to get back to higher level stuff, get back into the gym, get back to pickleball, get back on the field, things like that. And There's that little space there that like people don't really know what to do. Maybe the strength and conditioning coach doesn't know how to take it over, and then the PT doesn't know how to progress it properly. So I've kind of made my space in that gray area. And when I was doing the outpatient orthopedic, seeing 3 people an hour, I saw a lot of people fall through the cracks, people like you and I who are athletic and want to do more. Just fall through the cracks, and it's
hard.
Tough.
Yeah, because it's like the old school PT model and everything that we've seen, people we've connected on the private basis is like it goes so deep on quality specifics. It can get very blown out of the water and high ticket with pricing depending on who you're looking at and how they do things. But it's hard because traditional PT model is built off of insurance, basically, right? So the PT doesn't have to worry about the rates that they're charging necessarily or isolating themselves or worry about saying no, because they just get the connections through the doctors, through the medical system, right? It feeds them, and it's default. And they get the 8, 12, whatever sessions approved for, an injury. And how do they have to do enough volume to continually facilitate growth, I guess, right? To have PTs, then aides on the floor, and, your 2 or 3 main PTs or partners that are in the clinics. But there are huge things that fall through the cracks. I've seen it myself just on the training end.
Yeah,
absolutely. Just like, I think that's why I was so interested in training, saying like, I don't have to be a PT, but I can take someone as I'm getting them stronger, be like, let me sneak in rehab through just strength training exercises.
Yeah, and you can,
which
absolutely
is the basis almost of what you do in a sense after you assess. But,
100%.
You said something right before when the camera started rolling of just like people get emotional when they lose some part or they lose their training ability or being able to do what they used to do, either in the weight room, running, playing a sport or something. What have you seen basically on that page? Like, how often is it someone that's so specific trying to get back to where they are? And you can even talk personal experience of maybe the reason why you got into it being a football player, But what do you typically see with people? Is it like, hey, I have this small acute injury that is manageable, but I'm just looking to get better? Or do you see people that are fully almost hindered and they really need to get back? Like, what realm do you see yourself?
Yeah, a little bit of both, really. I get both ends of the spectrum. I think when I actually tore my Achilles, that took away my identity, and I did this about 3 years ago, actually, just when I started opening.
Oh, wow.
I tore my Achilles, and then it did take away my identity for a little while because so much of me was that physical, get into the gym, do this, and it controlled a lot of my life. I played football my entire life, and I wasn't able to do those sort of things. And so it really was frustrating mentally because I couldn't get back to those sort of things. It kind of took away my identity. So I see a lot of clients who are like that, who it took away their identity, that injury or whatever it may be, or they're not able to do the things that they once were able to do. I've seen people after a car accident not being able to walk, to people who are used to play pickleball 4 or 5 times a week and now they can't, and how can we get them back to doing that? To people who need to just modify some things in the gym, and it's a quick fix. So a little bit of everything, and I think that it really does take away their identity, and you can see that frustration in the conversation. So I take most of my clients to first session. We're just sitting down, kind of sitting like this. My chair's pretty much aligned like this because I want to sit there and talk to them and get to know why they are here, what's the real reason, like obviously pain, but what do you want to get back to? What's the why?
I did it myself, right, when I came by that day. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. And you sit like that and you tell me what your story is, and they get really deep, because if you don't know why you want to get better or what you want to get back to, then it's going to make the work and the ups and downs of rehab and training that much harder to overcome if you don't know the why. You have to kind of find that northern star. And when we're uncovering things, people start to open up a little bit more and tell me why. And sometimes people get a little bit emotional about it, and nothing was wrong with that. And that means, okay, now we know that's the northern star. Let's address it and start moving towards that. And that way, when things get hard, they have that thing to guide them, because it's going to get hard. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs. Things are going to go really well and things are going to go bad. And things are going to go like, hey, I'm almost there. And then you're going to have a little bit of a setback, and knowing that things are going to get there, and you got to keep working towards it. It really helps a lot.
It's hard because I feel like going back to the mainstream cookie cutter model, right? A lot of people are given a certain cadence a week that they're going to be in there doing PT, some hands-on, some ice, stim, heat, basics, right? Oh, it's part of the shtick. Cool.
Yep.
Right.
Time
but then
savers.
it's like how many of those people fall off?
Yeah.
Or how many of those people come in? It's just very, not to use the word cookie cutter again, but like it's not emotionally attached to the person.
Right. There's a number there
it's not
sometimes.
personal to the sense of, oh shit, I need to work on this or else this. It's more so like, I injured my ankle, I can't play, I want to get back to playing. Okay, go through these. Insurance only approved 13 sessions. We'll figure that out from there, and then we got to give you your exercises that you need to do at home. Could be 15 minutes of band work, but there's not really any knowledge facilitated. There's not a true walkthrough of like, well, now there's the PT realm, there's the on your own PT realm, and then this is the next, 50% that you need to do on your own in between being 100% and getting out of PT.
Right.
Right? It's like PT might only get you 20, 30, 40, 50% of the way
the
there
rest?
in the old school model, where it's so cool seeing someone like you that takes the attention to detail, sits the person down, you grasp it. What is it? What do we need to target, and why do you need to target it?
Yeah.
And then you're literally in a gym.
Right.
You're in a
all
gym
the equipment
space.
we need. That's right.
So you walk right out and you have racks, weights, dumbbells, kettlebells, and that was most of our thing. You did quick table tests and stuff for me, right? For the fibula, and I was like, hey, it's feeling this way. This is kind of what I want. This is where I'm at, and I'm going to play on it and use it and lift with it, but I feel these hindrances, right? And immediately we were out in the weight room. We were like, okay, strengthen it this way. Let's write some of these down. Let's feel it. How does it feel? How does it feel? How does it feel?
Right.
And then maybe we progress, right? And it's all exercise-based, real change-based. Is that the majority of what you see works in the industry for yourself with that kind of hybrid, somewhat manipulatory, but then mostly training basis? Because you're essentially training somebody, but on a little bit more of like a medical sense or medical level.
Yeah,
right?
and I would agree. I mean, I use my strength and conditioning certification more in my day-to-day than I do my physical therapy degree. Obviously, the background and extensive knowledge of PT helps a ton, but at some point, the change happens off the table. And I think having that background knowledge of physical therapy combined with strength and conditioning principles, that's the blend that we need to see, because all these people who come to see me, they've done the passive stuff. They've done the table exercises. They've done the passive hands-on massage, the manual therapy, and it only goes so far. Like you said, it gets you to the point where you're feeling a little bit better, pain's a little less, but how do we make the actual lasting change? And that's why I do most of my sessions at the beginning. First one, usually in the office, hands-on, use a table, talking a lot, and then we spend a little bit of time in the gym, depending on case. Obviously, you're a little bit more active, so we didn't really need to get on there with, hey, how can I meet you where you are, where your entry point is? And we found that quickly. And then as sessions go, I like to tell my clients, like, hey, listen, like in the beginning, 30% is going to be in the room and 70% is out there in the gym. That's why I chose to be in this space, because everyone kind of fell through the cracks, right? They weren't challenged enough to meet them where their goal was, and they already went to the route of traditional PT, and they're looking for something a little bit more, and it needs to be active. The change needs to be active. And I think that combining those principles and finding that why and giving them, when I give them homework on our app that we use, they're doing them because they're invested in it. They understand the why behind it. And of course, they're paying some decent money for it, but they also understand the why. And there's someone who is checking in on them and communicating with them regularly between our sessions. And then each time they come in, we reassess it, change that entry point. It's like you're peeling back, not to quote Shrek again for the third time today, but you're peeling back the layers of an onion. And each time you come in, you're essentially peeling back, and things start to uncover and unravel, and you say, okay, well, actually it's targeting this instead, and it's a little bit of trial and error, and we work together to do that. And that's why I ask so many questions throughout. It's not that, I want to see if things are working and you're getting better right now. It's to see, okay, do we have to go a different route, or do we keep pushing into this route? And that's why I always like to ask people, and I said, hey, how's that feel on this one? That way it gives me feedback to make that change and get you to the next level. And each time we're reassessing, we're not waiting until a progress note to give to the insurance company to move forward.
To delay it. Correct. And then also on the other side, you're delaying some of your payment also to be able to facilitate and keep your business running too. What did you see like early on, right? You go through schooling, playing football, PT schooling. That sets you up just like any schooling does with like just a baseline, right? And then you come out. what was that process like for yourself, being like, holy shit, like there's a lot of stuff that I could be doing that's missing out here.
Correct. Yeah.
What
I
was
mean,
that
social
like?
media was a big for me to understand, like there's more out there than just the traditional physical therapy route of, going to the clinic, seeing 3 people an hour and notes on notes on notes stacked up. And I was like, I can't do this for the rest of my life. I can't do that. And I saw that cash pay physical therapy out of network things where you would combine the two together. I saw people doing that in the field, and I'm like, wow, I could do that. I love strength and conditioning. I was an intern for Brockport where I went to college my senior year, so I got a little bit of a taste of that, and then combined the physical therapy together, and that's how I kind of built it. I mean, you learn a baseline of knowledge in school, but that's it. This is the baseline, and I think you really start to evolve when you learn from other people in the field, and you go to different seminars, go to different classes, go to different courses, and learn from others in the industry, right? I learned a lot from strength and conditioning coaches. And I've learned that some things in school are just to get you through school and pass the test, right? And it's not really applicable. And so that's why I'm always continuous to do research and stay up to date on it, because that's going to apply day to day. And that's where you really learn is doing it. I kind of came out of school, I kind of had, I'm sure you might have had this too, like almost like imposter syndrome, right? Like,
kind of,
wow, like I have all this knowledge, but can I do this? Like, am I able to do this? Like, am I changing people? Am I fixing them? Am I helping them? Am I making them worse? And you constantly have that battle. And it's less and less the more I go on and the more reps I get under my belt. But that's the biggest thing, was the change in that. Is like, I have to get more reps under my belt. You don't get it in school.
It comes with the reps. It always comes with the reps.
Always. And I didn't understand that.
Yeah, people ask me like, what, like, how did you learn any of this random stuff or whatever? I'm like, they're like, what degree did you get? And I'm like, kinesiology. But like, they're like, oh wow, that's great. I'm like, it doesn't.
That was the base that got me to that gave me the credentials to do what I do.
It got me like interested,
right?
Know?
But
like,
now you love it because of what you learned and then what you do with the clients, right?
It's funny on me. It wasn't even like almost imposter syndrome. It was almost like me being able to back up my confidence with who I was, and then being like, oh wait, there's a lot of shit I don't know. But like training, right? People are coming to me like, I'm on the bottom end with the workouts. You're on the top end with people with medical injuries and issues, right? So like I can get away with being general, like a lot of trainers do, right? To be able to sell it. But then I was like, no, wait, there's so much fucking missing. There's so much missing. So like why, like how do I learn this and then figure out that it works when I'm playing around with someone that wants to deadlift but has some back pain or discomfort, and then I'm like piecing it all together in real time, but I'm able to program enough, right, to get around it.
Absolutely.
Just to make them comfortable with working out, which is like the start. So, right, it's not like you're tailored specific, I guess. Whereas in my industry, it's like, it's so general.
Yeah.
Or it could be so general.
Correct.
Or you could just throw a shit workout at somebody.
Yeah,
and they think you're the professional,
think
right?
You have a good workout.
That's also the problem in the industry. And also, I would say in both of our industries, going back to either the cookie cutter PT with insurance pay or the training industry in general. There's so much crap out there, and that's why I feel like we connect really well.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of our mentalities. But I had a question earlier that I blanked on.
That's why I connected to you so much, is like, hey,
man.
I trust in what you're doing. Like, it's awesome. Like, what you're doing is great. Like, we do a lot of the same stuff, right? But at some point, where your knowledge may end, mine may be able to pick off in a certain injury. Like, I know that you can handle lots of injuries, but hey, once it gets like out of your realm, we could refer to one another. That's how I thought of things in the approach, because I think you're great at what you do. Where I'm at, there's some strength coaches that I trust great. Like I'm like, hey, what would you modify for this person? All right, I don't think they need to see me. I think you just make these modifications for them in the short term. You can do your thing, make some changes. I'm going to see them once or twice, and then I'm going to push them back over to you. And then that's how we get them back into the gym and doing those things, because I trust what you guys do as strength conditioning coaches. And you guys didn't learn that in school, right? You learned that from doing it and exploring and learning different courses. And I trust what you do, what he does, and I give him Coach Vinny where I'm at. I'll send him
What's
guys
the name
all
of the gym
time.
again?
Pulse Barbell Club.
Shout out to Pulse too, because also I have never met him. Right?
Russ and Vinny.
That's cool from just an outside of what we were just saying. Like, appreciate them because you're a PT in their space, utilizing their space. But doesn't seem like there's a scarcity ego mindset to be like, hey, like, dude, like everything you refer is to us, no one else. Right. Which is sick, because you're able to connect. And if a client's literally coming to you from a certain area and they're not going to keep driving there to work out, which is what happened, right? You did refer somebody that's local, and I actually happen to know them outside of it, but it worked. That's huge. That's really cool. I just want to say respect to them.
Yeah,
for that, 'cause
absolutely.
that's really awesome.
So when I first started, I was DMing and messaging every gym in the area just to give me a chance to open up my place. And
Yep.
Russ, the owner there, Russ Bostock, gave me the opportunity to open my space. I worked in the yoga studio, seeing one client a week, and then build up to have my own office in there and using their space throughout. And it's great relationship that we have. And we do have the abundance mindset because there's so many people that need help. Right. And it's not necessarily, in my mind, it's not necessarily competition. There's other PTs in the area. There's insurance based, there's cash based. And that's great. I mean, we need people. Not enough people move. 1 in 4 people meet the minimal activity guidelines. Plenty of people need our help. People are in pain more than ever. Chronic pain is running rampant. So people need our help. Having the abundance mindset, working together. And I think that's great. And I refer to people who I think would be a good fit if some client comes off the street and I think that they would be a good fit at 8 Well. I say, hey, go check these guys out. If I think they're a good fit at Pulse Barbell Club, I think it'd be a great fit to join here. And that's what's great. And I think that not us having no egos in that aspect, that we can all get ours and eat together. I think that helps a lot. And
there shouldn't be any ego limitations in the industry, right, between people to help people. There shouldn't be 100%. Any limitations.
That's what we're doing. That's what we do. We're here to serve people and help them. Right.
It's like, obviously, monetary, we have to charge what we charge. We have to do certain things. There's a certain way we have to make a certain amount of money to keep open, be able to eat and live on Long Island, right?
Yes.
But there shouldn't be any personnel limitations.
No, absolutely
and I'm a huge believer in that. For anyone out there, this is something that I thought of as you were saying it. How would a kid that's coming out of PT school and wants to learn private and then go in and go about, or what should someone expect trying to go about finding, maybe subletting a PT office, or how to start, where to start, right? You're in business 3 years, which is huge. A lot of businesses struggle through 1 or 2 years, don't really get it. And I feel like there's been a lot of people that try to run the model that you have, or try to just go about anything on their own in the industry, and they think it's going to come to them.
Right.
Or like they expect to get fed as soon as they live inside of a place. So like, what are some things someone can expect if someone's trying to come out and actually start a PT business like that?
So the biggest thing I'd recommend for anyone like who's like thinking about doing physical therapy in general, like as an education, first become a personal trainer or a strength coach before you're even in school, in your undergrad, because you can get a lot of reps under your belt, and maybe you might even learn, like, I don't need to go to PT school, or maybe I do want to go to PT school, and combine the two together. I think that's one thing I wish I did, was go become a personal trainer in school. Granted, I was strength coach, but get more reps underneath your belt, because at the end of the day, it's all about getting reps under the belt. That's one thing I would say.
Find people
intern right away. Find someone, ask someone. Don't go intern. Don't go intern at an insurance-based clinic. Go intern somewhere else. Intern at a gym like yours or mine, or another PT who's doing like a cash-based at a network.
I like that.
Thing like that. That way you can. That's the difference.
That's a flip side. Sorry to cut you. That's the flip side of, like, why would a PT go intern at a gym or a strength gym, right? Like, they want to be a PT. That's a really interesting point.
Yeah, I don't think people see the overlap, and I think physical therapy, they fall short of strength and conditioning principles, and that's where the real change happens.
I was going to say it is mostly
progressive overload, graded exposure, and meeting people where they are. That's basically what I do every day. But yeah, for advice for PTs or anyone trying to make their own practice, I have actually friends and old school classmates that have reached out and say, hey, I want to pick your brain. I'm like, absolutely. I want to pay it forward, because I've reached out to people on Instagram who ignored me, people who took the calls, or they messaged me back, and it was, I literally went home from work after working in a nursing home, graduated 2020, worked in a nursing home. I'm like, I can't do this. It's tough, I mean, seeing that, it was definitely monumental in my communication skills and working with different disciplines, but I was like, I can't do this forever. And so I started to message people who were doing it, and people would answer and give me some advice, and people would hop on phone calls once in a while. And so whenever I get the opportunity to do that, I do it, because it helped me in the right direction in that way. So I would say, it's not going to look like mine, or it's not going to look like someone else's right away, and it's going to be lonely, tough road in the beginning. And I'm grateful to have a big support staff along the way, and who helped me when those times were tough, because I was like waiting for the phone to get a call, waiting for a call. But then I realized I got to go out there, make connections, be authentic, go to gyms, work out, meet people, and
Yep.
build relationships. Go to networking events. And
We
meet
just talked
people.
about, the networking, a massive aspect. I was going to go there
100%.
next.
No PT doesn't any networking.
No.
You have to do those things, and that's how you build it. You build authenticity, right?
Yep.
People want to, then they start, oh, this guy's cool. I want to see what he's about. This guy's awesome. Like, hey, I like his vibe. I like his energy. I like the way in which he approaches things. Maybe I'll come see him. And you're planting seeds, essentially, and you don't see those people come in for months or years, and now that I'm a little more established, these people are starting to come around like, oh, I heard you, my friend recommended you, and this and that. And that didn't happen overnight. It takes a long time. And I think the biggest advice is just stay in the game. I keep telling myself that even to this day is just do what you got to do to stay in the game. And, I played sports my whole life, played football through college, and it's all about just staying in the game. How could you stay in the game? It's when you stop and quit, that's when it catches up to you.
Oh, I like that.
And so just keep swinging and stay in the game is something that keep me there. There's a book called 40 Lessons of an Entrepreneur.
Okay.
It's a little tiny book. You can read it in probably 20 minutes, but let me tell you, they say they want to pick my brain. I'm like, read this first, and then let's hop on a call or something like that, because that's going to give you some great advice on how to handle this. Because I
got to check that book.
You're going to feel like you're fit. It's by Derek Sivers. Sivers or
Sivers?
Sivers? I'm not really sure. But it's a great read, quick read, and it's definitely been helpful to me and staying in the game. That's it.
That's so true, dude. I learned early on just with training of like even not even knowing what I wanted to do or build before even starting the gym. It was just like, most of it was like getting over me being somewhat of a shy kid, or just like figuring out navigating stuff and being like, oh shit, like I just have to act confident and open every single door as much as I can. Just like get out of bed, roll on the floor, and put my feet on the ground. Dude, there's a really cool clip of Rick Rubin. Mm-hmm. You know Rick Rubin, right? Producer for Eminem, Jay-Z, Chili Peppers. I was like literally this weekend I was getting into listening to some of his stuff, recent podcast he hopped on. And there was an awesome clip. I actually talked with, shout out Adam Hurd in the group that I'm in for networking. He had commented and referenced it too when I sent him the video, and it was basically like, I'm a lazy entrepreneur. Like like this isn't natural. Like I don't get up every day being like, I'm here, let's go. He's like, most of the time I don't want to do it. And then he was like, but you get up and you start doing it, and you put your feet on the ground, you go through the motions, you show up,
action,
and you get yourself in the game, right? Something magical starts happening, and you start feeling it, and then you can start to either in the moment, in the session, okay, we're in it now, I'm starting to like the juices are really flowing, right? Or it's either in the session or it's the long term of like, get up, just see what this day has to offer. Who knows where it's going to end?
Just keep showing up.
Get on the podcast today without, like, who knows? Who knows where it's going to go? What clips we're going to get,
Who's it going to stick with? Who's it going to hit home with?
That's been such a huge point for me, where it's like, who cares? Like, fuck it. Get up, do it.
Fuck it.
Get up, do it. Get up, do it. 4:30 a.m., get up and do it. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Showing up, because action is better. And people look for perfect, and it's never going to be. It's about action and refinement. And actually, the fuck it. Something I read the other day is it's a book I'm reading right now called The Unsold Mindset, and it's like these two versions of fuck it. Like, fuck it, the negative fuck it is like, fuck it, I'm done, I throw the towel in. Or fuck it, let's go, let's get this thing done, let's go for it. Who cares what people think? Let's go for it. And then that's what the mentality you kind of got to take on about it. And that's funny that you say that,
dude. It's crazy. It's such a crazy, like the internals, right? Everyone wants to sit around, hang out.
Me too. Sometimes I want to do nothing. But then there's this
I want to do nothing all the time.
This little voice in my head's like, I can't do nothing forever. I can do nothing for like an hour. Then I'm like, okay, well, what can I do now? Eric,
I got to send you that clip too. We got to pull up the Rick Rubin clip. It was really good. I'll send it to you to throw as a clip on this podcast because it was good. But that's something that anyone out there that's like shy, struggles with it, getting out there, doing what they think they want to do. Just know that everyone's out there just like that, thinking the same way or feeling the same way. And it's easy to be lazy when you really don't know what the next step is too, right?
That's right.
Really, and then like in industries that we're in, it's constant people, constant conversations, building, constant best interest and best foot forward branding for yourself. Because you say one wrong thing to somebody, that could just spread like wildfire, or just be something that leads to your downfall instead of your upswing kind of thing.
That's right.
So it's like, and on another hand, right, it's like in your industry, if you do come out as a PT in a regular clinic, those clinics are there, built up, they have a brand name, they have medical entities they're connected with through different networks, and they're getting fed. It's entrepreneurship for the people that own it, sure, but they're fed differently, I'm sure, in the back end, rather than you, singular person, specializing in your work, going out and literally just selling yourself.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like you're not a PT, you're an entrepreneur that specializes in, assisting the human body physically. Like
100%.
literally that's what that is. Right. Yeah. So that in and of itself is like getting out, being your salesman, being your rep, your brand.
Yeah,
and
you're
then
repping yourself.
Fixing people too while you're doing all of that.
You wear all the hats, right?
You wear all the hats.
How have you been wearing all the hats? I know you got a little bigger team now, but in the beginning, maybe managing all the different hats. How have you been doing with that?
I think it was just like constantly going. Luckily, like I enjoyed, the number side. Tyler and I were very similar with like attention to numbers, financially responsible, figuring out what we needed, how we wanted it to look, absorbing as much information as possible on every end so that we can learn like the backs of what's going on behind successful gyms and businesses and tactics, right? So it's like I wasn't just out there saying like, oh, I'm training.
Right.
And like nothing else is managed.
Right.
Right. I think like
that's what people think too. They think like I just got to go out. Oh, your job's easy. You just got to go train people every day. But no, there's a lot of back end work that we have to do. We got to deal with different people. You got all the other stuff in the back end work to make this a successful business, so people can show up and that so you can be purposeful and meaningful in how you approach that session. Right. There's a lot behind it. And I don't think people understand that. And sometimes when people talk to me like, oh, it's easy to be in the gym. It's easy to do that. I'm like. Yeah, but there's also a lot of other stuff too. Like I'm not just done with work. I can't just make my own schedule. I make my own schedule for things that I need to, but I'm also things I have to get done at home and do other things that behind the scenes that nobody sees.
Dude, 100%. I mean, it's all day long too. It's also being an adult.
Yeah.
What's funny is I think in myself being that like that not always on type A like waxing realty. Dude, realties are phenomenal by the way. No paid anything here. Hopefully they come to us and send us some free shit. Send us some shit. This is good. This stuff's the best. Very, very low caffeine too, which is awesome in a highly caffeinated world. But myself not being, and most of us potentially not being like crazy, always on, psychotically going up till 3 a.m. and then asleep and then back up at 6 a.m. to work. Like those are that's going to burn you out, right?
Yep.
Where entrepreneurship gets crazy like that. And people just think like that's what motivation is. In that world, I think it was figuring out the box that I need to live in all the time. That's almost accountability driven all the time, right? Like my wife, I do the dishes most of the time, right? She does the laundry a lot of the time. We do all these splits and we help each other here and there. Sometimes I can get aggravated because there's something or whatever. And she's like, I don't say shit to you when there's dishes in the sink because we know we're handling it. I'm like, I'm sorry. She's like, if there's other shit bothering you, like say it, right? I know that like down the road, being accountable on just doing those little tasks at home and being an adult will lead to just being better and getting it done. Absolutely. Being accountable. Same thing with business, right? Recognizing that almost, right, going back to the question you asked of how do I deal with wearing all the hats? It's almost like if I don't either try to wear all the hats or we don't try to cover all the bases all the time with people that we're hiring or things that we're pushing toward and getting ahead on the 8 ball, I know that's going to crumble, and that accountability is almost going to or that it won't hold me accountable, if this makes sense with what I'm saying, right? Like I want to be able to tell somebody, hey, this is how much I did with my business this year, or be able to tell myself that, or this is how much this week looks like. Let me project it like this, or tell a client like, hey, you did this many sessions in the system. I want to be prepared for that so that this package might look this way or this. Does that make sense? Yeah. Right? Like, how do I hold myself accountable to the little things in life that I should have statistics on or should be doing and having information on? Yeah. So I'm prepared. Right? We're looking at a new space right now. We signed a lease. We got a bank loan, small business bank loan, right? That doesn't happen without being attentive to finances, without
calculating the numbers,
without being held accountable of saying like, I could just train people and take a bunch of money and whatever. But like, we need the books. Yeah. We need the numbers. We need the people. I need to have coaches. I need to have coaches ready to take the space, to take clients, to grow the business, right? It's like, how do I just keep holding myself accountable with like the constructs that I'm building around myself almost, I feel like that's something that's a very intricate thing that I've realized.
Yeah. And holding yourself accountable to a high standard. And I think that comes from like the sports that we played in high school. I mean,
for sure.
You sent us over like some topics we were going to talk about. And I was just thinking about like, one of my favorite coaches of all time, a high school coach, Coach Wilson, shout out Northport High School. He didn't only hold you to a high standard, he got you to hold yourself to a high standard, like kind of based off of what you were just saying. And I take that every day.
That's a great leader,
hold yourself,
by the way, to be able to do that.
Absolutely. And, that's what I take on to this day. How old am I now? 31. 16 years out of high school. I remember that. Jeez, man. I'm 16 years out of high school, and that lesson still holds true. And you basically, same for you as well. You're holding yourself accountable to these things, and he got me to do that and instill it in myself. And that lesson I take on forever. So shout out to Coach Wilson.
It's the standard of accountability, really.
Yeah.
And I've said it multiple times, whether it's on social media, I'm sure I've said it before, in person, I've said it a bunch. It's like, be careful what you want and what you wish for, or the vision that you want for yourself in the future.
Yeah.
Right? Like, be careful.
Yeah, you're building
because that holds a certain amount of accountability, right? And I feel like sometimes that's what people fear the most.
Is what it's going to take.
Is what it's going to take, right? Like, knowing that you want to lose 20 pounds or 30 pounds.
What are you willing to do?
And you want to look the part, right? The accountability of that is always looking out for the things you're putting in your mouth. Always looking out for what you're doing physically. Yeah. Always making sure those points are met. And that can be draining. But if you just simply, for me at least, choose and don't look back, it's
easy.
Right? It's very easy.
Yeah.
This actually was a cool point I heard probably 3 or 4 years ago. Listened to a bunch of motivational content and mentality content with, you ever heard of Bedros Keuilian, the Fit Body Bootcamp guy?
I
think he sold Fit Body Bootcamp, which is like that entity, right, of like group workouts. Yep. Sold it for a huge amount of money. And he just went on constant social media rampage of just like mentality, strong men, this, that, the third, blah, 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 blah. And one point he said was, everything becomes so much simpler and easier when you just accept the daunting
tasks,
crap that you have to do. Like, that's just what you do now.
That's it.
Just accepting it is the difference, right? Rather than, I have to get up today.
No, you get to get up.
I don't want to take that client at which yesterday, 4:30. Shout out to Josh, you nut.
Let's go, Josh.
Josh, fuck you, Josh. Right, but I don't want. He doesn't either.
No,
but he's getting up and coming to me,
it, so
and I'm doing
show
it
up
right
for him.
Yeah, right, and that's the accountability factor. But it's like, just accept it. Just accept it, and it's hard. I think it's hard to accept it for young people too, in a world where everything is shown,
instant gratification,
not worked for.
Correct. Right? Social media. I mean, it's kind of the downfall for a lot of people. I think they expect things to be instant and right away, and it's not like that. There's a lot of trial and error and reframing and resetting, and I think that's actually the superpower is your ability to reset, right? Like you're talking about a lot of motivational things you follow, and I do too. And my wall was filled with quotes in high school, right? And even in my office, when you were sitting there, I have on my door, I have what I call the intent wall, and I have everyone leave a quote when they finish up their sessions. And I think it changes people's mindsets because things are hard and things are tough, and how do you keep showing up and just accepting it that what it is what it is, and keep showing up. This is now. Yeah. Let's keep going. Yeah. And it's not going to be instant. And it's going to take some time. And most of it on the wall is about how it's not linear and it's going to take work. 100%. And it reminds them, it's easy for me to tell them, but it's better when they see it from other people who went through it already.
Yeah. Or they go through it themselves 100%. It's like when we were texting the notes, you were like, let's just go deep. Yeah. All right. Get deep to the podcast. Yeah. Now we're getting deep. Now we're getting somewhere deep internally. Right. But it's so true because also on the contrary, like motivational quotes, I love the Rocky, the feeding, I brought this up a couple months ago, the Jocko Willenick of like, oh, it's hard. Oh, you just got hurt. Good. Oh, it's
how you respond.
It's pain. Oh, like this just happened to you. You got fired from your job. Good. Take it, eat it, accept it. Let's go.
How can you learn from that? What can you do now? Probably could be the worst thing that happened to you, or it can be the best thing that happened to you.
Right.
How do you reframe that?
We can live with these mindsets, feeding ourselves with this stuff all day, but at the end of the day, it's like execution, failing, learning, executing, failing, learning, and then building and being successful. Yeah. Right? These are the true depths kind of what it turns into, right? When you're out there trying to find your first PT client. Like, who are you?
Yeah.
I'm Alex. I'm a former football player. I tore my Achilles.
Yeah.
Hey,
how are you?
let me get you on the table in this little room.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I'm good, dude. Like, we're okay. I don't
Yeah,
know what you know, you know? And I
exactly.
was like, I'm a kid that has like small biceps, decent sized shoulders, and I used to play baseball. Hey,
Hey, your shoulders are nice.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
It's like, how do I sell that? And then it's
Yeah.
like, oh my God, this is like, now this is the trail of like, you want this.
yeah.
Now you got to go through this to be able to get what
Right.
you wanted, you know?
So, interesting, like, we do have to sell essentially, right? And I
Yeah.
never learned how to sell. And
Always.
I used to think salespeople were kind of like cheesy, right? But, when they're only cheesy when they're not authentic and they don't believe in what they're selling. And I'm selling transformations,
Yeah.
like, may get you in the door because you're in pain, may get you in the door because you want to improve your performance, but we're here to create behavior changes and get you to trust your body and see how resilient and adaptable you can be. And in turn, it does change people's lives. So I believe wholeheartedly what I'm selling, so I no longer feel cheesy doing it, and it's no longer as awkward anymore. Sometimes it is, of course.
Yeah, you're not
because you have
selling
to
it
put a
someone
price
else's
out.
product.
Correct. So when you believe in it like that, I don't really think it's cheesy at all.
No, it's never cheesy. It's, in fact, I feel like the bulk of real sales is not what sales inherently is. Like a sales role that's on foot going door to door is not really what sales is.
Right.
It's the person.
Yeah,
It's the human to human connection, right? That's what it is. People are buying that, right?
Mm-hmm.
People are paying for, whatever brand that's high end you want to say out there. They're paying for that $170 t-shirt, but
Right.
you can just go on Amazon and
the same
find
thing.
one that's $22.
Right.
Or like those pack of fresh clean tees, like 6 shirts for $60.
Those are clean,
like
they're
whatever.
nice.
But it's like you're buying that. You're not. You're buying the brand.
That's right.
When you pay high end,
Yep.
right? For the association, for the whatever you want to name it. Why a person buys it. Yeah, man. I'm curious too, and this is totally out of left field. I'm curious
right.
where our industries go or could go, or even stay grounded and being successful with this whole AI transition.
Yeah.
In that sense, and I think we touched on it
Yeah,
a
we
little
did
bit the
a little
other
bit.
day.
Yeah. That's an interesting
What do you have
question.
in mind with where things could go PT wise? Because you're such a niche, person to person, attention driven, specific like craft. Really, you're an artist almost in that sense, right? Like,
I would say, yeah, it's a great way to put it. I think I am an artist in that sense, and that the way in which I approach everything day to day is an artistry, because you adapt based on how that person is presenting. Hey, it's too hard. It's painful with this. Oh, let's move from this angle. Oh, let's actually just change and do this instead. Like, I don't think AI will necessarily be able to do that at this point.
This worked
Maybe
better.
not.
This didn't
Correct.
work better. This worked better last time, but today,
Right.
Wait,
sure, for the general population,
Yeah.
for someone I feel like a knee replacement, could AI create a program for them?
Sure.
Yes, absolutely. But it doesn't take into account the human person aspect of it. I think it's like a double-edged sword a little bit. I think there's some great stuff it's going to be able to do and help things a little bit easier. Help me like with some of my measurements. Help me with some of my like tracking of notes and tracking of measurements for strength and things like that.
Yeah.
And sifting through that. That's super helpful. In the aspect of like creating workout plans that are individual, I don't think it would necessarily have the ability to do that from my end, because it's so person dependent, situation dependent, exercise dependent. I could give you both the same list of exercises, but all three of us are going to execute it a little bit differently, right? So it's in the artist, right? You give someone all the cooking ingredients in the kitchen to make something. You get HelloFresh at home. We both get it. We're both going to make it a little bit different, right? The heat's going to be a little different. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm a pretty good cook, brother. I don't know. I'm a pretty good cook. But yeah, everyone's gonna. It's all about how you chef it up, and you're an artist, right? So the same thing applies.
True.
And I don't think AI would be able to necessarily do that at this point. Could it maybe later on? Sure. I use AI in what I do sometimes, right? In my back end work, I have with my metrics and stuff like that. It helps me tell me if I'm on the right track or not. It gives me like a green zone, yellow zone, red zone, based off metrics of previous month, things like that, in that aspect, which is great. So when I help with like some of my content organization, helps with some of my newsletter organization, I'll just get out there and start typing up my whole newsletter. Yeah. And I'm like, hey, can you make this sound a little bit better? Because I have no grammar and I can't spell, or sometimes I can't even talk. But so that helps me put everything in a nice sequence, and it helps streamline that process, so I'm not spending as much time editing it. That would take me hours, and now it takes me, a half hour, 45 minutes. So it saves me a little bit of time.
You can cover more bases too, just loosely.
Yep, 100%. So, double-edged sword from that aspect. What about your side on the strength and conditioning aspect of it?
Nothing crazy. I think like we're trying to, like Tyler and Nick trying to use some stuff definitely on their side to see what is fit for the gym and for the medical side as well.
Because we have the ability to sift through what is beneficial and not beneficial. When people go and put their injury or their goals into ChatGPT, they can't sift through it. They're like, oh, I have this, I got cancer, I have a tumor, I have this or that, and I don't think most people have the ability to sift through it the way in which we might. And sometimes that's what I do is like, okay, well, hey, ChatGPT is great and AI is great in some aspect, but the human aspect of it and be able to sift through what's good and bad.
You can't. You're never going to be able, at least, I mean, never. I don't know about never.
Yeah, true. Never say never.
You're never going to be able to make, it's like currently not going to be able to make that on the spot swap.
Correct.
We're doing a 90-90 hip flip with this, and you're trying to do more internal rotation on the left hip. Let's
make that adjustment.
Yeah, to do this.
And that.
Change it, right? It's like,
Correct.
no, it's not going to be there unless a robot is physically deployed that knows everything, can spot everything, and knows everything about the person.
Right. I mean, have you seen iRobot? I don't know, bro.
I mean, yeah, that's a whole different story. There's something that makes me want that to happen.
Yeah,
something
kind of
sick and twisted in me. But I think in the AI side, I mean, like Claude, we just started using that.
Claude's
just for
unbelievable.
Just for shits, but like I haven't like nerded out so much just because there's so many other things that are going on that I have to do.
Energy has to go elsewhere currently.
I've used it for quick, like, whatever, like money that I save, investment advice, or talking about where the world is or where we're going, or just simply saying like I put our assessment in there the other day, like our movement screen, like, hey, just pretty this up for me. Use everything I had,
100%.
pretty this up, and add a figure of a person I can thing, and take the logo. And dude, perfect. One iteration. Didn't even have to tell it change anything. Phenomenal.
Makes it so easy.
2 years ago, it would have made a weird sheet, and it would have been like the numbers 1, 2, 3 would have been like 1x4, right? And it would have been all splayed out weird, and the text would have been copied exactly. Now it's like forming its own everything, making my side better and simplifying it, and then making it look better visually, right? Which is really cool, and that's the time enhancement. But I'd be curious to see if I spent like a couple of weeks without it being a distraction, maybe an hour a day or half hour a day, just like constantly feeding it with my story, who I am, my voice, and like inputting like programs constantly.
I wonder if it will be able to spit something out.
Yeah, I wonder how much I need to put in for it to keep or continually connect more dots and more dots and more dots, right? Because that's essentially how our brains have learned this, right?
Form new
What's
connections.
What's going on with your knee? You have patellar tendonitis. You did this. Oh, wait, maybe the hamstrings are weak. These 5 people, their patellar tendonitis went away because I lit up their hamstrings and trained that more. This 6th person, it didn't happen. Okay, now what? Right? It's like, right? Is it going to be able to keep up, right? And make real-time decisions. But yeah, I think in simplicity, that's what it's going to be the most useful for, saving time off the get-go without wasting our own time and energy, because we're trying to reach for stuff.
We're trying to change people's lives in that aspect, but we can move things in the right direction. Absolutely. It's cool to see where it's going to go, but also a little bit scary because you're seeing. I was at Starbucks the other day doing some work. Shout out Starbucks. If you stay there, you get free refills, and I'm kind of addicted to caffeine, so I'll have like 2 or 3 there, and then 1 for the road.
So you've been here for 13 hours?
Sorry, you can't have any more. But like, there's a kid. I literally saw him doing his homework and writing it all into ChatGPT and spitting out all the answers.
That's bad.
You have to use your brain. Your brain has to develop, and it's not going to develop as much. So like, I only use it for tasks in which I don't need my brain necessarily, like certain things like that. Or I use it as a prompt where I'll usually write things and throw it in there afterwards and help me like organize it a little bit better, because I want my brain to work and build those connections, because we constantly can build those connections still. So I don't want to lose them.
It's teaching your brain how to continually learn and progress.
Yeah.
Right. Not to go off tangent either, outside of who we are and our topic that we started on with our fitness, PT, whatever. But like, I'm curious what the schooling system starts looking like, because AI is infiltrating so much. Because, right, the less variables there are, the easier it is to use AI. Right. Most of schooling, there's not that many variables for a lot of different things. It's pretty linear. right, on what you have to do.
You got to learn X and pass X text.
School teaches you to sit for 6 to 8 hours to absorb, and you're given the box of things you have to put out, right? Like working on an assembly line, that's what school's teaching. And it's easy for kids now to go around, and like school just was developing our brains. College was like, how do I learn my responsibility, my schedule, my attentiveness to what I want life to be, where I'm going now in school, and managing, having fun, and also, right, like getting work done and doing it fully on my own with a weird schedule, and like managing it. And also like a step up from work, where like now we're a little bit more serious with the papers we have to write and stuff we have to do. But like AI can do a lot of that stuff easily. It's crazy with that kid, right? It's like, I fear that the brains of kids they just can't be adequately
they're not going to be independent thinkers necessarily.
Yeah, they're not going to be independent. That's a good way to put it, right?
Independent thinkers,
It's hard. It's like, how is a kid going to find out what they need to do or want to do, and how to work through the grunt of stuff and really critically think, which is what most things are, to get from A to B to C to D.
And there's infinite ways to do things too, and I think school topics another conversation, but like there's so many ways to do things, and I think that if you don't test it out, you're not going to be able to figure that out.
Yeah.
And I think that social media plays a role into that too. Like, hey, it's got to look like this. My life has to look like this, but it doesn't have to look like that.
Yeah.
So that's what I've learned too. And it's interesting. That's we can go on a tangent about the school complex.
That'll be another podcast.
We could definitely go deep dive into that one. Get some other conspiracy theories.
That, aliens, and I don't know. We said a couple other things.
Pyramids. Yeah, you're talking my language.
The pyramids.
But another great book is I think I told you last time is the I forgot the devil. Something the devil. All right, we'll come back to that one. The devil.
Who's
all the devil? Exactly. Oh man, that's a good one. But what is your favorite? One of your favorite quotes? That's a good question. I like, because I got like a couple I use.
First thing that hits is, I think it was Socrates, that what a shame it is for a man not to see the full capabilities of his body while he has it.
Yep.
Or something like that, as close as that is to it. That's the gist of, like, that hits me hard, because it's like, I'm still playing baseball. Right. And I've brought it up a lot in conversation, especially with podcasts I've had, because it's a big part, I'm sure, football, right? You grow up, that's 99% of who you are and were. And for me, it's like, I was away from it for 3, 4, 5 years. Figuring out how it fed me was different. And now it's just like a game of like, I'm going to strike this freaking 23-year-old kid out right now. And like, he doesn't have any idea, like, that I'm just having fun, and the craft of what I've done, because I have the ability to stay in the gym all day, is getting the most out of my body before I don't have it.
That's right.
Right? And when I wake up 25 years from now, am I going to regret or not regret not playing or playing? Right? Like, probably if I stopped playing, I'd regret the fact that I stopped, right? Because that for me is one aspect that I hold true of, like, getting the most out of my body. Let me see the relative ability that I have to see how the sport has progressed from my life, which is interesting. And it helps me with business. It helps me to figure out what the body needs. It helps me see, like, holy shit, I'm 31 now. My back all of a sudden started hurting at 28 when I was playing baseball. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, now I see what these guys are saying. They're 42 playing golf and their back hurts. Right. So, like, there's a different application.
And you can better relate to them as well. And that way you can better treat them and relate to them and help them get over that hump. And knowing it's possible too, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting.
And I want to say the last part of that, then I'll ask you, your quote was, right, a shame to see what the body's capable of, not looks like, right? I'm not a six-pack guy.
Yeah.
I'm not going for a bodybuilding competition.
Right.
I want performance. I want to eat well and hang out, but I want to be able to do everything I want to do, enjoy food with my wife, enjoy whatever I want to enjoy while I'm doing that, and get the most almost that I feel like is getting the most out of life while we're here, in a sense, right?
That's absolutely right. I love that. Live it to the fullest, living intentionally, right? That's all what it's about. And I think that you can do those things. And I think by you living that way, you almost subconsciously help others do the same, right? And you just living fully the way you do, and that's the goal. I mean, that's what I want to do. Is
without me yelling at people to go to bed at 8:30.
I don't think you need to do that. I think that you just being you, whether we know it or not, is inspiring someone else to be that way. And I think that us being very authentic and as being us and showing up day in and day out when things are hard, when your back's hurting and going to the gym anyway and getting things done. I see how you're posting your story. Hey, I'm working on this rotation stuff so I can throw harder. Like, you're doing the work. People see you're doing that, and it does inspire people. I know it does, because I've had people come up to me in the gym and say, hey, you're doing this, and this. I've inspired me, change in me as well. So, like, people are watching, and you just being authentic in yourself, it just shows up. So keep that in, man. You just got to do that all day long.
Shout out to Jack coming in the gym, his kid that I train, and he's tired a lot of the time. Like, how's your day? How do you feel? He's like, I'm tired. I'm like, well, guess what? And he's like, fuck you. Yeah, I know you're tired too. Stop it. It's like every day I'm like, I'm tired too, bro. Like,
that's right. We're both tired. Let's show up. Let's just keep moving, man. Yeah. We're all tired. We all got problems. We all got life. We all have struggles. Just keep showing up. That's what it is. It really is. Keep showing up. Things are tough. If you want something bad enough, you'll do it. And I don't think people understand that they have to do something, and it's going to take sacrifice and effort. Yeah. It's not just going to happen and fall in your lap.
And what that's going to feel like, right? The daunting task of taking on that.
And it's not, and sometimes, like, I used to think, speaking of daunting tasks, like, I was doing a powerlifting competition recently, and I lost a bunch of weight, and I used to hate tracking, because the goal of mine was to get a six-pack at some time in my life, because I love to see what the body's capable of doing and what I'm capable of doing at any whatever age it is. And it was daunting to track calories for me. I hated it. Absolutely despised it. Tedious. But now, and I was tracking because I absolutely knew I wanted to achieve something. So I'm like, all right, this is what it is now. This is what it is. This is what we're doing. It is what it is. And I just kept doing it. And it ended up not being that bad. And I ended up freeing up some other space and where I can go enjoy dinner with my friends and my wife and do things. But I had to be a little more strategic with it. It was almost like a game that I was able to okay, got to throw my protein in the beginning of the day, and then later on I can go have some fun. And just tracking those calories, I also got better at cooking. Hence why I'm a pretty decent cook, I think. And deciding what I can make, what meals can I do, and what can I decide to do this, and it worked. And it's not that bad when you actually end up doing it and falling in love with it. I think the process of it. So that was my little take on that.
I love that. Before you say your quote, I don't want to go on a tangent. I have a second quote.
Go as many quotes as you want, brother.
I made up.
I have about 25 quotes. Shut up. I got about 25 quotes. So you go on. We could go forever.
He's going to go on. It's be like an hour of quoting.
No. 2 or
Alex's
3,
quote
4.
book. I think I made it up. I definitely made it up for myself.
That's fair.
Other people have said it. But you don't ever, what was it? You don't, or there are no have-tos in life unless you want to do something.
Yeah.
Right? Period.
That's right.
Right?
Protect your energy.
You have to do things because you put yourself in this subset to do what you want to do. That's it.
That's right.
Right? If you want to achieve something, then you have to do things. But you never really have to do anything.
That's right. I love that.
Shoot me. What's your quote?
Oh, bro, I got a bunch. My favorite, that's a tough one. I'm going to go ahead and say Jackie Robinson quote, "A life is not important except the impact it has on other lives." That's how I approach my day-to-day every day.
I like that.
Right? So because what we're doing is I'm here to serve other people, and that's basically what I'm doing. I think when I first grew up, I thought football was going to be my platform. I thought it was it for me. That was going to be it. But I think it just was a stepping stone for me to the next thing, which is, helping people in the physical therapy aspect of things and strength and conditioning and helping change their lives to that aspect. But there's a bunch. I mean, another one is one of my favorites is Muhammad Ali, "Impossible is nothing" quote. It's a long one. I don't know if I can even recite it. Let's see. Here we go.
Eric, you're going to have to fact check this. Make sure every
this
word
one
is
right
correct.
Here. Impossible is not a fact. It's an opinion. Impossible is not a declaration. It's a dare. It's a big word thrown around by small men who find it easier to live the life they've been given than to explore the power they have to change it. Impossible is nothing.
I like that.
Pretty deep, right?
Where's he at? Is he good?
Not bad. I think I'm a little off, but not terrible.
A little off, but
it's there.
The sentiment's there.
It's a dope
so
quote.
Like that's
I like it.
It's true. Like, and that gives me something else that I actually read in a research article. Are you a pilot or a passenger in your life? Right. So are you a pilot or passenger? And the pain was the article was about. But are you a pilot or a passenger in your life? Like, do you think you have the active ability to change your situation, or you're just along for the ride and it is what it is? But it's your hand, how you play the hand. So those sort of things is how I kind of approach my day to day, and those have been hanging on my wall since I was in middle school.
That.
So and one's in my office, and the other one is posted on a little Post-it on my desk at home, and those are the 2 quotes that I basically live my life by. That's it.
I love that. Everyone's a pilot. Some people just don't know it.
Ooh,
they have to be, right?
That's right.
That's interesting. I like that quote, that last
Yeah.
one. That's really cool.
Good
All
stuff.
right, man. I might have to add the "What's your quote?" question on the end of this podcast
I think you should,
when I do
because
it on here. I like that. It's so simple.
It's cheesy. Sometimes people think
But
I thought it was
like
cheesy.
It's
but I don't
funny.
think
I've
it's
had like
cheesy.
a notepad of like quotes
yeah,
for like a
100%.
decade running. Because it's just like a thought that it's
Yeah.
a one line thought that represents so much. You know?
Yeah, it really does, and like it like sums some things up, and I think it changed my life. It did, and I don't care how cheesy it sounds to other people. It does, and it changed the way I take on day to day everything. All these different quotes that come out, and one that I've been thinking about a lot, especially with like social media getting out there posting things, because it's tough out there. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not an influencer. I'm not the most handsome guy in the world, but
But you influence.
yeah, exactly. I try. Is Kobe Bryant, his book Mentality, Mamba Mentality, I believe
Yep.
it was. It was like an autobiography. He said people are going to like you and there people are not going to like you, so you might as well be liked for who you actually are.
Love it.
Being authentic. So
Love it.
I just keep telling myself that and be like, hey, that's cool. I'm not for everybody. I'm not the
Yeah.
flavor for everybody, and that's okay. And that's it. And so I've been taking those
I love that.
those
That's
three
cool.
there, and that's just how I've been rolling with it.
That's sick.
But yeah, if you like quotes, there's this good one. It's called The Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday. I don't know if I told you last time I saw you.
I've heard of that.
It's
I
basically
think.
365
Cool.
quotes. Every day has a specific quote based off of Stoicism, and they go off of these different quotes from these great philosophers, and they relate it back to real world situations and things that we may be
Cool.
experiencing right now. And these little blurb, it's like a half a page. It kind of sets a tone for the day. I read it every morning.
I like that.
With my cup of coffee.
Shout out to that
With
guy.
my first cup of
What
coffee.
was his name?
Ryan Holiday.
Ryan Holiday.
Yeah, I got it on my phone.
Daily
That way I
Stoic.
don't have to carry a book around. Actually, one of my clients got it for me a couple of years ago, a big book. But I'm like, I can't carry this around all day. So I just got it on my phone. But shout out, Matt. Thanks for the book, brother.
That's awesome.
yeah.
I was going to say, you've influenced me to do the weighted kettlebell rows
Oh,
on
yeah.
the dumbbell.
Hey.
I woke up with a bruise this morning.
Oh, my
right
bad.
here, like a bump bruise. And I was like,
What the hell happened?
what the fuck is that? And my hand is still hurting
Oh,
when I
you're
said I
welcome.
front squatted again yesterday. I was like, no way that this just
No.
like pushed on the wrist and now bruised I was like, oh, I did the kettlebell rows.
That's
Perfect.
right.
So thanks for influencing me.
You're
No,
welcome.
I love it. I
Now
need
you-
the bruises.
Now I hope
Shows
your
me
wrist,
I'm
you can
working a
come
little
see
bit.
me now. Yeah, of
That's
course.
it. Yeah, you got
See, I'm
bruises.
just planting
come see
seeds,
me.
brother. Love it.
Cool, man. Appreciate it. Where can people find you, either on social media wise and then physically?
Yeah, so I'm over at inside Pulse Barbell Club, 351 Larkfield Road. Got my own office in there, and then we use the gym space there.
East Northport,
East
New
Northport,
York,
right on Larkfield
Long
Road.
Island.
East Northport, New York, right on Larkfield Road. You can find me at Intent Rehab, Intent_Rehab on Instagram, and we offer free discovery calls just so people can understand if they're a good fit for us, and we can decide if it's even right to come into the door, or if we want to go another route. And I'll be completely honest with you. I've told people, hey, I don't think you're right for me. Let's go check out this person, or hey, I think it'll be a good fit. Let's come on in and do an evaluation. And
Cool.
so it's just a conversation that I like to have with people, and it's the smallest barrier to entry.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
I love that. I love the honesty too, and upfront with client.
Yeah, you got to be.
Not
I
trying
turn
to
people
scrounge
away.
and chomp at the bit. Really trying to help. So
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
huge.
That's what it's all about. Human body's insane, man.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
100%. It's wild. All right, man.
Love it.
Appreciate it. Thanks for
Appreciate
coming
you.
on.
Thank you.